Welcome back, everyone. The Google Pixel 6 actually ended up just coming out, so let's go and take a look at it against the iPhone 13 and see which specific iPhone you should go and pick up. Now, I will leave both of these phones linked down in the description below. You can get them from there and help support the channel at the same time. Now, side by side, there is a little bit of a difference, as you guys can see. The Google Pixel 6 is a bigger phone, 6.4-inch OLED panel here. The iPhone 13 is a smaller 6.1-inch panel, but it definitely depends on which one you prefer. I think both of them have some strong suits. I think the iPhone 13 with its True Tone panel looks a little bit better here and there, but the Pixel 6 does have a 90 Hz panel, which is something the iPhone 13 does not have. The 13 Pros have 120 Hz. The 13 refreshes at 60 Hz. So both of them have some advantages here and there. The bezels on the iPhone 13 seem a little bit slimmer, but you do have a hole punch display on the Pixel 6, whereas you have the older style notch on the iPhone 13. So these two phones really complement each other. It's so funny because one wins here, another one wins here. I definitely do prefer the 90 Hz on this phone, but I like the look of the iPhone 13's panel. Now on the bottom, USB Type-C on the Pixel 6, lightning port on the iPhone 13. Now interestingly enough, the sides of these phones feel very similar. I was expecting almost like a plastic side on the Pixel 6, I don't know why, because the Pixel 6 is at $599 versus the $799 on the iPhone 13. So both feel almost the same in terms of the chassis, they both feel good, and honestly, they both feel pretty much the same on the back of these phones as well. When you look at a Pixel 6 and I look at an iPhone 13, they both have dual camera setups, they both have glass backs, and they both kind of give me the same vibe. It's so funny. Now the camera module does protrude a little bit more on the Pixel 6, as you guys can maybe see a little bit, and the Pixel 6 is definitely, I think, a heavier phone than the iPhone 13, but both feel really good, both feel very premium. I don't think there's one phone that feels more premium than the other one. The Pixel 6 is good, I like it, it's a bigger size, but the iPhone 13 still looks very good. I mean, this is a kind of older design. The Pixel 6 is kind of a newer design, so keep that in mind. Both have wireless charging, IP certification, and all that good stuff. So that pretty much covers it up there. Now, another big thing is software. So Google actually just recently said that they're going to be supporting their devices for up to 5 years of, I guess, security updates. That may mean like 1 year of full OS, or that may mean like 4 years of OS updates. I'm not too sure. And I think Apple is still maybe going to beat the Pixel series in terms of software updates, but these things are becoming very, very close. So I do think we're getting to a point where one device may not completely outperform the other one just in terms of just the longevity between them. And I think that's a good thing. I want a phone, and I don't want these phones to just be like better in terms of software updates. I want them to be better in terms of software features. So the fact that they're getting closer and closer is very, very happy for me. So in terms of that, that covers it up in terms of the software standpoint. Now let's go and do a speed comparison between both these phones. Now the iPhone 13 has that Apple A15 Bionic chip inside of it with 4 gigabytes of RAM, where the Pixel 6 has that new Google Tensor chipset inside of it with 8 gigabytes of RAM. So let's go and see which one is the faster phone between both of these. Okay, there we go. All the apps are cleared out in the background. I'm kind of at an angle, so it's a little hard to kind of see it a little bit. So let's get into it. Let's do phone calls, 3, 2, 1. And about the same thing, maybe the iPhone 13 was a little bit faster here. And something did happen, so I wasn't able to fully get into this one. So let's just go and hop out of this one for the example being. Let's get into their app stores, 3, 2, 1. And I think the Pixel 6 was a little bit faster here. Scrolling through, let's see if there's a difference. And loading speeds, I think, seem to be about the same. There's not really a big difference there. Now, gesture-wise, you can kind of see I get the same vibe between them. And sliding in between applications, kind of the same thing too. I don't think there's a big difference there. Hopping out of this app, let's go get to the next one, which could be some of these third-party applications that I always install on both of these phones. So let's get into it. Instagram, let's just go into Twitter, 3, 2, 1. And about the same thing. I didn't really think there was that big of a difference here either. Hopping out of this one, let's get a Facebook, which I don't have. Fruit Ninja, 3, 2, 1. I still think the animations are faster on the iPhone 13. That's just one thing I've been able to consistently see year after year. And it does look like the iPhone 13 a little bit faster here. Hopping out of this specific application, let's go and get into Stack, 3, 2, 1. And it doesn't even look like I clicked it on the iPhone, on the Pixel 6. So that was kind of weird. I think the Pixel 6 won there. Hopping out of this specific app, let's go and get into Bofa, 3, 2, 1. And it still looks like I'm not clicking on the Pixel 6 application, but it still opens it. It's very, very weird. Hopping out of this one, let's go and get into Netflix. Let's go and get into Snake vs. Blocks. 3, 2, 1. And Pixel 6 actually faster here. So we're starting to see a little bit of a difference between them, which is really cool. Hopping out of that one, let's go and get into Quizlet. 3, 2, 1. iPhone 13 is faster, Pixel 6 a little bit slower. Let's go and get it to thank you. 3, 2, 1. And the Pixel 6 is faster. The iPhone 13 is a little bit slower. So we're starting to see some differences. The Pixel 5, I think, was slower than the iPhone 13. So that's a pretty cool thing that the Tensor chip is starting to kind of beat, in some cases, the A15 chip. Let's do Temple Run 2, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so we did have that logo come up on the Pixel 6. And they both were on a downloading config screen. Okay, and then the Pixel 6 actually closed out of that application. So at first, to be honest, it kind of looked like the Pixel 6 was winning, but the app actually crashed. So that's like minus a point for the Pixel 6. There's really no point for these apps to be crashing. I understand it's a new chipset, but it's kind of weird. So I don't really know why that happened. Let's do the original Temple Run, 3, 2, 1. And it kind of looks like the Pixel 6 was going to be winning here. So I guess sometimes the apps crash, sometimes they keep them open. So it's very strange that that's kind of like a dynamic between the two, but I guess it's okay. Hopping out of this app, there may be some other ones. Let's do Snapchat, 3, 2, 1. And it was about the same here too. So honestly, from this little speed comparison, I'm pretty shocked about the Pixel 6's chipset. I didn't think it was going to be doing that good, at least compared to the A15 here. So maybe Google has something up their sleeve. Maybe the Pixel 6's Tensor chip is actually pretty good. I still think maybe the A15 chip in iOS is a little bit more smoother. But to be honest, I did test this Qualcomm Snapdragon 765G from the Pixel 5 and compared it to 13. It wasn't really that much better. But in this case, there was a little bit of a difference here, which I'm really happy about. So in terms of that covers it up here. I'll do a full camera comparison at some point, but I'll just quickly hit on them right now. Like I mentioned before, the iPhone 13 has a dual camera setup, a wide-angle lens, and an ultra-wide sensor. The Pixel 6 has a same exact setup for the most part, a wide-angle lens, and an ultra-wide sensor as well. In terms of the camera UI and camera quality and everything, I'm definitely going to tell you I'm going to have to test them out thoroughly to kind of see, but both of them kind of give me the same vibe. I don't really think there's going to be that big of a difference. Like I mentioned, with the iPhone 13, I've kind of had a good experience with it. I think it's been a pretty solid experience, but one thing about Pixels is even you can kind of tell here, it does brighten the photo up a little bit. And one thing that I don't really like too much, you can see my feet. One thing I don't really like too much about, Pixels and Android, a lot of Android phones, is that when you go in kind of in a lighter area from a darker one, there's kind of more of like some like kind of screen flaring going on, if you guys know what I mean. With the iPhones, it's been pretty consistent, which is something I really do like. As you can see, it's kind of more brighter than here, and it kind of is a little bit more, I guess, easier to see. So I will test this out thoroughly in a full camera comparison, but do keep in mind both can do 4K 60 on the back, which is cool. The iPhone 13 can do 4K at 60 on the front. The Pixel 6 can only do 4K at 30. A little bit of a difference, but I'll talk about more of that in my full comparison. So now we make it to the end of the video. And to be honest, I think both of these phones are actually pretty good. I'm more surprised maybe about the Pixel 6, but maybe that's only because I've really been testing the iPhone 13 for so long now. I think the Pixel 6 is actually a really good phone. I'm surprised about the build quality of how good of a phone this is for the price tag for $599. This is a solid phone, stock Android, really good build quality for this price tag, really good screen at 90 Hz, and I think this is a solid phone. I think with the iPhone 13, like I mentioned, I've been using it for so long, so it's just kind of hard to tell like what I like more about this one. I like the build quality. I think the iPhone 13 may feel a little bit more premium. I kind of like how the display looks on the 13, although I like the 90 Hz on the Pixel 6. The camera quality may be a little bit better here. Performance was kind of a tie between the two. I couldn't tell which one was faster than the other one. So I think between these two, if you're looking for a stock Android phone or a stock phone between these two, and you want the best value per dollar, maybe the Pixel 6 is the better value. It seems like you're getting a much better phone here for the value than the iPhone 13. If I had the money, I'd probably go for the 13, but both are very good. It's kind of hard to tell which one I like more, to be honest. So in terms of that covers it up here. If you guys have any other questions or anything like that, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.